In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI.
This is Dan the Dad, and you should listen to Raw and Order or you're grounded.
Welcome to another episode of A Visit from the FBI, your weekly dose of pro wrestling fantasy booking. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm still recovering from a hectic weekend, but yeah, I'm here. So I better slide my chair over so I'm centered. There we go.
Yeah, you had a busy weekend. We alluded to it. We gave vague excuses for you, but we understand why you were not able to make it to the session on Sunday night.
In reality, the reason was sleep, but
yeah,
there was some personal things that happened in life, and some people were laid to rest. So anyway, moving forward, that's sad, and I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I understand.
I want to talk about the Royal Rumble. Wait, also sad.
Also sad, yes. We'll talk a little bit about it because I do want to hear your overall views of it. We won't go directly into it. We are also joined, it seems right now, audio only, by JLB.
Hey, it's your boy. It is me. It's JLB. Yeah, man, I'm good. Can't complain. Still trying to recover from the Rumble as well. It's been 3 days. I thought I can get this depressive mode and this off of me, but it seems to linger. Well, especially with Raw.
It doesn't help when Raw's just shit knocks.
Yeah.
Normally we can look to the Raw after a horrible pay-per-view. Well, maybe they'll reset and things will get better. And here's the I'm not saying that there weren't some neat things happening on Raw. There were some neat things that happened on Raw. There were some things that got a little bit of a pop for, I don't know, stupid reasons. And there are things that we will bitch about, definitely. Probably this weekend, because this is not the show where we spend most of it bitching. That's the Sunday night show.
Yeah.
But because D.A. Fabe wasn't here to bitch on Sunday night about Royal Rumble, I do want to hear a little bit of his opinion on it, because he, like I said, he had his family thing. We're not going to talk about that. But then Sunday, he had to recover from that and binge the entire Royal Rumble so that he could try to talk about it Sunday night. And then he was just absolutely beat and couldn't make it. So, thoughts? Royal Rumble.
So, I mean, here's the deal. As I was watching the Rumble, I had some fall asleep, wake up stuff. So I did not watch the Rumble in order. That said, that Seth and Roman match was fantastic, but it didn't have to end that way. And there was a whole lot of it didn't have to end that way as the night went on. In fact, part of the reason that the Seth Roman one didn't have to end that way is because the rest of the night just residually ended that way.
Yeah.
I was so pumped after the end of that Seth Roman match, though, because it was a really, really good match. And I was okay with how it ended. I didn't like it. Watching it a day later, I thought that Roman was DQ'd via the chair strikes. It wasn't. I don't know. I mean, Seth still came out on top.
Yeah.
Roman still has the title.
Yeah, here's the deal. I liked the ending of it overall. There were parts that I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that they booked it to be the ref picking up Seth's hand and then dropping it, and it happens to
Oh,
fall
it just
on
happens to fall
the
on
rope.
Yeah.
Because the main reason is because they haven't done the arm drop. He's out for fucking ever in WWE.
Yeah.
Ever since they switched to MMA rules, all the ref has to do is look and be like, "Oh, he's out. Ring the bell." And so they don't have to do the arm drop. So it appeared to be like the ref going, "I'm deliberately putting the hand on the ropes," which then makes it look like the ref is cheating to help.
I think that the plus to that is that the hand didn't hold itself on the ropes, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And
the thing is,
that part is a tad fickle. There's just better ways to do.
The thing is that blame either falls on Seth or falls on Charles Robinson, or a little bit of both, right? Because all it would have taken is Seth to get a little bit closer to the rope and then do the I'm reaching, I'm passing out, oh, my hand's on the rope, and then the spot's fine.
Yep. He doesn't make it, and Charles Robinson calls it.
And Charles Robinson calls it shoot style. Here's the deal. The storyline that they told with it is that Roman Reigns realizes he can't beat Seth by himself.
Sure.
And the only thing he can do at this point now, he cares more about causing Seth pain than he does about winning the match.
You could even reverse the victory because he won't let go.
Yeah, they used to do that all the time. They call the winner of the match, but then the other person won't let go, so they reverse it. Right? It happened before, and so, or you just have it where he's too far from the ropes. They break the hold for whatever reason. Then Roman gets up and starts whacking him with a chair, and he gets DQ'd that way. Either way, you have the same result. A DQ victory, Roman keeps the belt, but it keeps the storyline that Roman can't beat Seth, by himself. And so, so I didn't have a huge problem. But the thing is, that was the first match of the night.
Correct. And so I was left with a high, with a really good match.
Yeah, for us to start with a good match.
I start out with AJ and Shinsuke, and I'm like, this fucking Rumble is gonna rock. I do not have any idea how anybody could think this wasn't good. Shinsuke's out a little earlier than I think he should. Austin Theory comes out. He lasts longer than most people would have wanted him to. He was pretty dang good, though. There were some eliminations I didn't really like, but as a whole, 1 through 30 or 1 through 29, I have no problem with any members of how it went and this didn't go right. I don't know if the Kofi thing was a botch or not. I don't really care.
A botch. Just so you know, it was 100% a botch. It's
I'm
come
glad
out.
WWE didn't just let it float. Yeah.
Well, they would have let it float probably if it hadn't been caught on camera live. Like, we saw it happen live. They couldn't cover it. But no, it was on. Reports have it he was supposed to be in for a bit longer and maybe even eliminate someone, and they had to cover because. But in the end, it was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And so I'm glad they held Solo with it. That's fine by me. So,
here's where you run into the problem on this Royal Rumble match. Because you watched out of order, you had not watched the Brock versus Bobby Lashley match yet. So you did not know the finish to that match, which led into the finish to this match.
Yes.
And if you had watched the Brock versus Bobby Lashley match, you would have, like JLB and I, known 100% who the number 30 was going to be and what the storytelling.
So I knew. Obviously, I read the spoilers beforehand, and so I knew that was coming because I knew the story. I still didn't feel that anything was done wrong except for having Brock win. I personally think Brock. I mean, I would not have had a problem with him showing up and saying, I gotta figure out how to get my." But at the end of the day, no, I'm just being hard on him, man. It's not anything. This is just because I wasn't here on Sunday. Anyway, and so you can put that on there though.
Yeah. No, I do want to address it because here's the deal. We're not being hard on it. Both of us loved it overall, and we liked on the thing. The only thing we're nitpicking is the Charles Robinson picking his arm up part. We like the fact that it was a DQ finish. We like that. It tells the better story. All I'm saying is that Charles Robinson lifting the hand up and dropping it was not the best way to go with that. But if you watched our review on Sunday night, that was our match of the night. Universal choice match of the night.
Might be barring Cody and Sammy Guevara on Wednesday. Might be the match of the year thus far. I mean, that Seth Roman match was good.
It was really
I'm
good.
not going that far.
I'm not putting it up there though. That Cody and Guevara match. That's
obviously number one.
That was a legitimate 5-star match.
You have also have the Usos and New Day day one also up there. Seth and Roman match ain't gonna do shit.
I can't see you. You don't exist.
You
All right,
also
bye,
have
guys.
Orange Cassidy versus Adam Cole in a lights out match.
Yeah.
So it's okay. So arguably the second best match of the year. Still not gonna. Anyway, moving forward, I don't think Brock should have won. Here's the reason I think Brock should have won. Brock gets punched in the face by Roman to lose the title. That's why Brock shouldn't have won. You've already written the storyline. You don't have to use this to write the story.
I mean, ultimately, here's part of the problem is they booked themselves into this
this really weird corner on Monday after Brock's Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Like, what in the fuck is going on?
Hey, by the way, we have 30 people battle for an hour on Saturday for a shot at the title. And then, the next day we're just going to throw 5 of them into a match in a month for the title. And one of them's going to be the guy who won that. And so now he gets 2 shots at a title for, And
if what you're looking to do is unify, then don't have Roman. I don't know. Just moving forward.
That being said,
the one who won it.
Really quickly, I do want to point in here. Thank you, Football Scouting Report, for the comment because we do appreciate the comment. I just wanted to clarify. I don't think we're being hard on the finish because I don't think we disliked the finish. I don't think JLB I think didn't like the DQ finish a bit, but DA Fabe and I both liked the DQ finish. We just thought they could have done it in a better way that didn't look like a referee cheating.
Who fucking cares if a bad guy loses because he was vicious?
Yeah,
that's what he does.
Well, I care. Because when you make it a pay-per-view match, and this is the last time you're going to face for maybe quite some time, I care because if I was someone who would have went to that arena, paid my hard-earned money, I would be fucking pissed.
You can get pissed. I get it. But I remember pay-per-view matches where the heel champion, walked out of the match and got DQ'd by count out.
The 90s.
And so it's not a new thing, right? A DQ finish. That's the whole point of champion's advantage. They talk about it all the time at the pay-per-views. He's got champion's advantage. He
not
can
when
only
it's
lose
ending
it.
Your feud.
But they didn't say it. What? And here's the deal: it didn't need to be ending the feud.
Is a Seth Roman feud ever really over?
Yeah, but it's over for like 3 months. So I mean, that's enough time.
I don't think
moving forward.
I don't think it's. But again, it doesn't matter.
I don't hate that aspect. I didn't hate the Rumble. I literally thought every sequence in the Rumble was fantastic. I enjoyed Johnny Knoxville's sequence.
Okay.
I also enjoyed it being short. There's pluses. I don't like the celebrity entrant, but I'm okay with it. But as a whole, I thought the sequencing, I think the methodicalness was fantastic. Again, the reason I skipped to the last match of the night is because I kind of watched it out of order, and quite frankly, I knew that Brock won, and I wanted to find out why. Why would you have Brock win? And at the end of the day, that question isn't answered. You have 2 opportunities per year, 3 if you count Elimination Chamber, to add somebody to the mix, to create a person in the mix in WWE unannounced, without reason, for them to have a title run. Big E was on a 6-match losing skid. He gets with the briefcase in his hand, still won the title.
Mm-hmm.
That introduces somebody into the mix.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, which is the best use of Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble.
And Royal Rumble. Now, that doesn't mean you have to only use a dude who's never done it before, but you have to. But using it for a storyline that hasn't already been written, which was literally the storyline of months coming into this, and day one ruined that storyline because Brock's got a title. Mm-hmm. Brock has to have a title. So then we quickly put a title on Brock. Then we need to quickly take it off of him, and we can tell a dozen other storylines.
But now he wants to be title versus title. The storyline
you told is Roman came out, punched Brock in the face. Brock no longer has the title, but we better make sure he wins the Rumble too. It's so stupid.
And wins Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and now I don't think he'll win that.
I don't think he's going to win. I think they're going to use
Elimination
Chamber.
Where they legitimize Lashley.
Yeah, they legitimize Lashley, and I also think they use it to continue the feud with Roman. That somehow or another Roman figures into Brock's elimination.
Well, I mean, we've seen Brock attack somebody, or Edge, attack people to get into the Elimination Chamber. You can do the same thing with Roman or something. But that's also a moot point. I think at the end of the day,
it's a moot point because it hasn't happened yet. We don't know. We just speculate on what they're going to do.
Making Roman versus Brock the overarching story of the year, that's not even a problem. Making it the only story of the year, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. You have to allow other stories to develop. Bobby Lashley looked great in this match with Brock. Mm-hmm. Brock looked great in that match with Bobby Lashley. I could have watched another 8 to 10 minutes of that.
And the thing is, WWE's established a long time ago that you don't need to win a match to get a shot at the title. All you have to do is have a reason. So the simple fact that Roman cost Bobby Lashley his title is enough of a reason for Bobby Lashley to be, Brock to show up on SmackDown this week and be like, "You cost me my title. I want a shot at you."
That one Adam Pearce is afraid of Brock. That works. Like, we've established all these things, so let's just use them. Yeah, like, that's what I don't understand. But so anyway, the I've already mentioned the Brock and Bobby Lashley match. I literally could take another 8 to 10 minutes of that match. That was you can put it in my veins again. I will say something that other people will not. Of the 2 choices, if I was given 2 choices to win the Royal Rumble, I would have gone with a second victory for Drew just to inject somebody new into the storyline, or what I thought was 20 years instead of 6 years, but 20 years, somebody finally gets the 3rd Royal Rumble win, and he just happens to do it at home.
Yeah. I was saying on Sunday, I think, to me, Randy Orton would have been the best victor, if only because WWE's in such a business of pop. That's what they live and die on. Mm-hmm. And the pop that would have happened of Randy Orton winning in his hometown the Royal Rumble would have been fucking massive.
Which opens the window for whatever follow-up fallout RK Bro's gonna have eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been a healthy setup of that. I think that they were beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Reportedly, up until middle of the week last week, Riddle was slated to win,
Which would have been
Rumble.
fine.
Would have been fine.
Yeah.
They talked about Randy Orton. I think that would have been the best way to go.
Yep.
And then just
I like the idea of Drew. Drew would have been my first
Drew
choice for that.
The
But
thing is,
I did not have
in the end, there were about
Well,
15 other options in the Royal Rumble that
Sure.
I wouldn't have complained if they would have won.
Surprise. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, Chad Gable wins. Great. He's not going to win the title, but it'll be a fun match, or whatever. But anyways.
So the on the women's side, Doudrop and Becky, the match kind of plodded along a little bit, in my opinion. I didn't hate the victory. Becky can come on as a scrapper and scrap her way to a win. I'm okay with that. I didn't. Even though she's a heel and she's supposed to be the bad guy and all this stuff, it was fine. It was good enough for who it was for, and that was for me. So I enjoyed it. There was another women's match, wasn't there?
Not another.
No, the tag match.
The tag match, the mixed tag match.
Mixed tag match. That was done wrong from the start. Both matches were okay. That was done wrong from the start. There was no reason to have the second match because the good guys had already won the first match, and it wasn't a schmoz to get Beth involved. It was done wrong from the start. It was just poorly written.
It was blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
Good match. I didn't hate it. Maurice performed better than we expected. Ring rest for both her and Beth. But meh.
I will point in here one thing I didn't get to talk about on the Royal Rumble podcast itself was noting Beth's Luna Vachon inspired makeup.
Yeah.
They didn't. I wish they would have pointed it out more on the show itself because I think it was easy to miss. But I did appreciate that. So
sure. As for the women's Rumble, I thought that was going to be a really good Rumble. Again, it started out two fire opponents, Melina, who is a current female wrestler, more indie than anything else because she's aging, and Sasha Banks, who in her Sailor Moon outfit made me say, Sasha Bear is real.
Mm-hmm. So, I said on Sunday that I now want to make a sequel shirt that is Sasha Moon and just see if I can get a cease and desist letter from either side. Just push our luck on it. Sasha Bear shirts, of course, available right now at rawandorderwbu.myspreadshop.com. So link is in the doobly-doos.
I again, there were some good spots in this. I didn't like the standalone in the ring for Sasha for a short while, but okay, that's fine. I think Melina deserved better than to be eliminated that quickly. I really enjoyed Mickie James's run in the ring, showing that why she's the Impact Women's Champion. I thought that was fair. I thought they treated Impact fair there. I enjoyed that. Michelle McCool had a good showing there. I don't understand why Lita is facing Becky for the title at Elimination Chamber. That makes no sense to me. I don't think Lita put on an exceptional show by any means.
Because she asked. Because that's what I was getting, Dad. WWE's established that you don't have to win a match to get a championship. All you have to do is ask.
Well, Brock should have just done that.
Yeah, that's all Brock needed to do is come out and say, you owe me a shot. Boom, now he's got a match.
Jeez. Anyway, so I don't, but that wasn't on Royal Rumble, so we didn't know that until Monday. My biggest click, no. More than Brock winning, was the appearance and victory of yet another MMA star. This one really pissed me off because there was an MMA star who people respect, like, no love. That's a member of the WWE universe who's who was the 30th entrant. Who I think is not a person on this podcast that would not have loved to see the building of a feud between the 28th entrant that won and this person in Shayna Baszler. So I would rather than over Ronda Rousey, day in, day out, week in, week out. I like a person who shows up. I like the it or the grit person, not the it person. To go back to another match where they said that way too many times. So I would have loved to have seen Baszler win that because she's the grit person and Ronda's the it person. And I'm out. I'm just so out on on MMA being greater than WWE in WWE's own eyes. It's exhausting to see the people I'm a fan of that are there week in and week out. It took me 7 years, more time than Brock was here the first time, for me to finally be like, all right, fine. Brock can have his pancake schedule. He's that good. And it really took his current character before I finally could tolerate it. I mark my words, I probably will never like Ronda Rousey in a WWE ring.
I'm 100% there with you.
So
the thing is, she doesn't look like she actually loves being there, right?
No,
she really doesn't, like, at all.
And she's got the charisma of a potato. Like, she came out on Raw to deliver her promo, and they literally had to pipe in crowd noise, and badly. Like, it was very obvious.
She had real pop at one point, but when she sold out the industry, as though we didn't fucking know.
She had real pop at one point, and then we saw her wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're like, well, because here's the deal. She 100% could kick my ass. She could kick probably all three of our asses.
Simultaneously.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. No doubts there. But here's the deal. Wrestling isn't really about who can kick whose ass. It's about who can look convincing putting on a match with other people, who can tell a story. And
why is
she just
tells
tells us,
Becky Lynch still the hottest thing in wrestling?
Yeah.
Even after leaving and having a baby like Ronda Rousey. Why is petite little Becky Lynch still the hottest thing in wrestling? Even with a character that we aren't all 100% behind. It's because she tells the story better than anybody else in the sport.
Even more than that, right? Why did us as wrestling fans dislike Nia Jax? Because she looked like she was hurting people and actually did hurt people. Rather than tell a good story, she just hurt people. And Ronda Rousey just looks like she's going to hurt someone all the time. And not in a entertaining wrestling sort of way, but in a, I don't want my favorite wrestler to get injured and miss time sort of way. And because every time she does that judo shoulder throw.
She didn't do any of that this time, though.
She didn't at this one, but she's going to. The judo shoulder throw doesn't fit in a Royal Rumble as much as she's going to do it in the solo matches.
I thought she did a good job of selling the story until the end, and then I was like, well, the wrong fucking person won.
I didn't even think she did that, but mostly because her punches looked. This is the opposite of her looking like she was going to hurt someone. Her punches didn't even look like they were hitting.
Yep.
Yeah, she was holding them back so far. They weren't coming within 6 inches of her.
It reminded you a little bit of Shane McMahon's punches, which look held.
But anyways.
So, anyway, as a whole, worst pay-per-view of the year so far. But that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only counting WWE and AEW, who hasn't have a pay-per-view yet, you've only had 2 pay-per-views. If you throw in Impact, you're at 3, and if you throw in GCW, you're at 4, really. And
GCW you get leeway because you're not a big dog.
No, you're not a.
If we were watching it week in and week out with that Nick Cage ending, that might still be worst pay-per-view of the year so far. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give it leeway because it's
See, the thing
it's
is,
the seventh grader in the dance.
I didn't
competition
hate the
with
Nick
senior.
Gage finish as much as I hated the finish to the Royal Rumble.
Well,
So-
that's fair. That's a fair statement.
Mm.
So, but we're not here to talk about the
We
Royal
are
Rumble.
instead here to talk fantasy booking. So that's the real point of this. I just wanted to get caught up on the Royal Rumble with you, but
Yeah, no, that's fair.
because we really outside of the podcast, we haven't had a chance to speak basically at all
No.
this week, which is an oddity for us. We used to work together and talk wrestling for literally hours every day.
Yep.
And then we moved apart and to different jobs and all that stuff. We
Life
still,
has drifted apart for us.
yes, it's so hard. I miss my buddy. So this podcast was one of our ways of continuing to talk wrestling, but we usually talked wrestling outside of this as well. So
Yeah, it
I
used
wanted
be
to get your
at least one night a week. There'd be a phone call during the commute, and
Yep.
so
So-
that just didn't happen because my family stuff over the last year. So
Yeah. I did want to update you. We opened another pack of the cards, and we finally came across our first no longer with WWE
Karrion Cross.
card. We did also get a foil hollow Damian Priest. So, and then trying to remember what our Allen and Ginter's was. I think it was. It was KO and Psycho Sid.
Well, see, that's a dude who's no longer employed by WWE.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
understand.
legend card, so I don't count this.
He's
But-
the master and the ruler
Mm-hmm.
of the universe.
JLB didn't like the fact that this is a fancy, old school looking card, and then it's got him wearing a cutoff T-shirt. But
That's exactly who Kevin Owens is, though.
yeah, it's really Kevin Owens.
That is the definition of Kevin Owens.
No, that is. It just still looks weird on a fancy card.
Yes, it does.
And
Which
I
is
am
why
still
it's
trying
very
to find
Kevin Owens.
some place in this silly town to get some packs of the AEW cards, and I can't. So, anyways. So we're going to get on to the fantasy booking. The rules of our fantasy booking are pretty simple. We're going to challenge the others to book some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We do not discuss them in advance because we think that's funnier, but mostly because we often haven't thought of them until we go live on this show. Before we get into that, though, I would like to mention that we are part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So after the show's over, if you go down to the doobly-doos, there's going to be a link tree. But underneath that, there's going to be a link to tatnusco.com that you can head on over there and see all the other shows in the network and let them know that we sent you. So, but on that note, I will open the floor up to DA Fabe or JLB to see if either one of them wants to go first with the fantasy booking challenge.
I'll be happy to go first.
Oh, I guess we will take you on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make it a quick, easy one. It's a what the fuck, Vince, and I just want you to rebook this. We got a best of set. This is a request from a customer or from a viewer, and I think
Customer.
we take them up. Customer, a viewer. I'd like to take them up on this and make this push some of our others. Because we're already going to run a little long on this show. So, best of 7 series, Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle in their prime. Who you got? I am okay with all three of us doing this tonight.
Okay. Well, I do have a
Well, we can
small
do a
fantasy
second
booking for
one.
later, but that's fine.
But I will
We'll-
let
we'll
this
do it.
substitute for me because
Okay.
I went long. And JLB, what's your thoughts? Do all three of us book this or just one of us?
Well, I'm only saying all three of us book this because I have nothing planned. But I wouldn't mind. This does sound pretty.
This
Too
is a
busy
great
cheating
one.
on us with other podcasts to think of
Best of
anything, I
7.
see.
So I'm going to take a couple liberties, and I think we just do this as a group rolling through. So I'm going to take first liberty is that this is not going to be a short thing. This is going to run probably the course of a year. That's Liberty number one. Liberty number two is that there's going to be some gimmick matches involved in this.
I would think when you're doing a best of 7, at least one of them has to be submission match. One of them has to be
particularly with those two.
with those two. One of them has to be
Iron Man match.
yeah, an Iron Man match probably. One of them has to be a no submission match. You know,
Yeah.
where you, because these are both people known for their submissions, so let's see who wins when they can't
Stick
do
with
that.
no submissions.
You
I
know.
think a ladder match fits well in
Mm-hmm.
this. So I'll start it out and I'll say that the feud begins just after WrestleMania. A feud caused by Money in the Bank being in its correct location right after WrestleMania, and them injuring or them preventing each other from winning the Money in the Bank. So there won't be a title run, at least initially, with this. Both of them in their prime. That means that we're coming into, let's see here. That would make that the May pay-per-view. So the May pay-per-view would have been, so it'd be the June pay-per-view, which could have been Great Balls of Fire or other unnamed one. I think that this is just a pure ladder match. I think the first match is a pure ladder match because it comes off of them both being in the Money in the Bank and neither of them winning it. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's fair.
So in this said pure ladder match, at maybe that's Extreme Rules? No, that'd be later in the year, traditionally.
Yeah, I think that's more October-ish.
Yeah. So it's just a pure ladder match in unknown, non-gimmicked pay-per-view of the year. And so I would have I think that match favors Brett. I really do. Kurt Angle isn't known for a whole lot of ladder matches. Brett had one, at least in his career, that I can think of. And so I'm going to go with that match favors Brett. Brett wins the first in the best of 7 series in a ladder match.
Ooh, okay.
To win a different title shot or something. So then the next match could actually occur at SummerSlam. Any input, guys?
Yeah. No, I'm 100% fine with that. I'm just trying to decide which type of match I would go next.
And it could just be a basic wrestling match.
It could be.
If you make it SummerSlam, then your July pay-per-view, which would be Great American Bash or something along that line.
But because it's SummerSlam, though, I feel like you do have to make it a little cool. Maybe this is the second match, though. I feel like
that would be the second match. They could have had
Iron Man's too soon.
Yeah,
I feel like
here's what I'm thinking. Iron Man is kind of the one that probably has to cap off the feud.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say that's WrestleMania the following year.
So that would be the one at the end. A submission match would probably have to be late in the feud. You know, when someone can say, "You beat me this way, you beat me this way, but you've never made me tap," sort of a thing. And so those would have to be later. Like you said, though, if it's SummerSlam's one of the bigger pay-per-views. We kind of have
it has to be a little bit of a
do something big for it. So
flag match, flag on a pole match or something, because one's Canadian, one's American. But that'd be kind of cool. Great American Bash.
A little bit into that.
That might be better. Great American Bash, though.
And that's fine. You could do that as a Great American Bash in July instead of SummerSlam in August. So that's fine.
Maybe, if anything, the SummerSlam is kind of where we think the feud is over. But then who did you have win on?
I had Brett.
Brett win.
My thoughts are at Great American Bash, they don't have anybody against each other. There's not a match specifically set there. But the interference, because they're still pissed off could play into setting up the SummerSlam.
Oh, Great American Bash is before SummerSlam?
Yes,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
July pay-per-view.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Traditionally, that's a July pay-per-view.
Fair. Okay.
It's also traditionally a WCW pay-per-view, but
Yeah.
we're gonna make it the July pay-per-view because we don't want shitty named fucking July pay-per-view.
Yeah, no Great Balls of Fire here.
No, definitely not happening. No bueno.
So
So then at Great American Bash, you have Brett face whoever.
Mhm.
But I feel like Brett has to be the heel in this feud. Pro-American. they're
I
mostly
feel like you
American
can get it.
face.
You can get it across the board. I think you can start out with Brett being
That's true. Okay.
a face and develop into a heel. They both have.
I mean, over the course of the
skills in both
year,
fronts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
fan perception can change drastically. It could be
Correct.
that they start off heel face and face heel.
That's true. Yeah.
So here's a thought at Great American Bash in July. Brett has established his dominance over Kurt in the ladder match. Kurt somehow has schmozzed his way into a number one contenders match. Kurt is facing, I don't know, since we got in their prime, then we could say Owen, and Brett comes out and
Oh,
Lost.
nice.
costs Kurt against Owen for that number one contender. Owen gets his title shot at SummerSlam, which we feel like should have happened anyways. And now Kurt's pissed off and Brett's the heel.
Oh,
That works,
man.
baby.
And imagine even at one point having freaking Team Angle versus Hart Foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
So Brett cost Kurt his title shot,
leading
Kurt
to a
wants-
match at SummerSlam.
You do a match at SummerSlam, have it be a kendo stick match. I'm okay with that, or a no holds barred, or falls count anywhere.
I have an idea saving the no holds barred. So,
Okay,
but again, I feel like that
falls
has to be
count
something-
anywhere is a safe one too.
You can false count anywhere. It's fine. Like you said, the flagpole match or something like that. Could be a match, or I mean, this could be a simple
Judy
cage match.
Bagwell on a pole match.
Yeah,
No,
not a Hell
that.
in a Cell style, but a cage match. You
Yeah,
know,
just
you interfered in my
Traditional
match,
cage match. Yep.
or even a traditional strap match or something like that. You know,
Ooh, leather strap. That'd be fun.
Or
Pick
the
one,
one,
guys.
I think maybe the cage might maybe work a little just because I don't want no one to get involved. You screwed me over. I don't trust you. Your Hart Foundation team's going to come in, yada, yada, yada. Throughout the Raws and the SmackDowns or whatever, you have a bunch of them interfering in each other's matches. So maybe making it a cage could be, especially for SummerSlam, that's pretty nice.
I'm down. Cage.
so who you got
And
winning?
So obviously, since Brett won the first one,
Yeah.
this
Angle
is
has to
the
win.
advent of the Team America or whatever. Yeah,
And this is where Brett really gets angry. So he's slowly starting to maybe turn.
yeah, he's done some heel stuff, but now he's pissed
Yeah.
because Charlie Haas came up and prevented Brett from leaving the ring, and so Kurt Angle won by getting out the door.
Dirty. Yeah.
Okay, so match number 3.
Now
We
they're
go
pissed.
on. Yeah,
Now
now they're
they're good and
pissed.
pissed.
This would be a good one for. Let's see, we're not to Survivor Series yet.
No, we would
We'll
be
probably,
September or October pay-per-view. We can do
Hell in a Cell.
we can do Extreme Rules. Hell in a Cell shows up late October. You can do Extreme Rules in December. You
Let's-
can do Survivor Series is obviously going to be the two groups feuding against
Yeah,
each other.
that's where that's going to
I
be
think-
Team Angle versus.
I think a Hell in a
America
Cell,
win.
but not the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, I think a Hell in a
Or Hell in a
Cell.
Cell, and do have the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, no,
now
I,
Haas can't get in.
I think
Or- Or
at Hell in a Cell, but not a Hell in a Cell match. I'm gonna do this one. This is gonna be a first blood match.
Ooh. Okay, go on.
And so this is gonna be the step towards the more brutal, right? That's gonna lead to some of the other ones. We can then later do a kendo stick match. That's I may have bled first, but I'll make you bleed out, sort of a thing. But for this one, I think a first blood match. You know, you might have beaten me in the cage, but I'm coming after you, sort of thing. And so we're gonna put it out there, first blood match. It's effectively a hardcore match, but we're not gonna have like the hardcore toys around the ring, all of that stuff. It's gonna start out as a traditional match. They're gonna try to bleed the hard way for the most part. And so you're gonna see a lot of those like brutal kicks to the head, punches to the head, stuff like that. It's not gonna be a lot of, you know, baseball bats and chair shots.
It also opens the door for Bulldog to come out and be stopped by Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. To lead
and
up to that.
Anvil to come out and he gets stopped by Brock.
You could even have it be, you know, all of the Hart Foundation starts to come out, and then the rest of that team shows up at the top to stop them. So Team Angle, they're brawling up at the top of the thing, the ramp, while the match is going on. I'm going to give this as a second victory to Team Angle, right?
Okay.
This is going to be where Team Angle gets out to a little bit of a lead, but that just serves to make Brett even angrier, right? So now we've got a 2-1 lead in this Team Angle going into what would normally be Survivor Series.
Yep. And in Survivor Series, I think that this counts as part of their 7, but I don't think that you have to have any particular those two feuding with each other. In fact, I think the person to get the victory here to bring it back over in favor of Brett.
Well, the score is what now? The score is...
Go ahead and keep your talking.
Yeah.
I'll take care of.
Okay. So the thing I do here, I think, is the score is technically 2 Angle, 1 Hart here, but I think the Hart Foundation picks up 1 for Brett here, and I think the person to get that win is British Bulldog. I think British Bulldog picking up that win as an X factor that people, you know, really don't expect to see in those matches. People frequently forget that British Bulldog was on the cusp of being the world champion. And for that reason, I think you have British Bulldog get the final victory. You know, it's Survivor Series, so everybody's in elimination. But this can also be the moment in history where Owen turns on Brett. We saw that. You can have British Bulldog still get that victory over, say, Charlie Haas being the last remaining member of Team Angle. It doesn't take anything away from the feud, but certainly helps continue to build the feud. I don't think you have Owen turn on Brett there, though. I think we treat this more like 97, even though the Brett's prime is when Owen turned on him. But so now everybody knows that I think prime Brett is 1993. Not far off. Anyway, so I think that this is a win for the Hart Foundation. What's your thoughts, JLB? Well, Mark's is 15 some stuff.
This is at Survivor Series?
Yeah.
Hart Foundation, and then this would make it what, 2-2?
2-2.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that because I feel like you do have to make it into a 7 kind of thing.
Yep.
The
other piece to that is it allows Kurt to go, well, you didn't really beat me because it was the teams.
Right.
And that opens the door for the first truly designed for them. Match 5, I think, is probably a good time to do the submission match. I don't know.
I'm even thinking maybe you kind of make the whole, you know what? You had you were hiding behind your guys and whatever. Well, this time you're not going to be able to go anywhere because this is going to be a strap match kind of thing. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Where you can't get away from me, maybe, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Does a strap match always necessarily have to be where you touch the ropes? All 4
No.
buckles? No. Okay.
No, that's the traditional one, but
I think at this point, though, keeping in mind that we have 3 matches left, we know we want the last one to be an Iron Man match. We know we want a no holds barred or a traditional pinfall match, and a submission
snap.
match. I think this is the time to do the submission match.
Yeah, or maybe the no holds barred.
I don't know. Smarks had an idea for the no holds barred, so we're talking Extreme Rules. We're talking after Survivor Series.
well,
We're talking Smarks.
the idea for the no holds barred was going to be the first blood match. That's what I was.
Okay.
That's why it seems silly to do a first blood match and a no holds barred match because they're sort of the same.
So then the submission match, I think, is probably the good play at which allows us to finally have WWE look in the mirror and go, hey, look, this is an extreme type of match. You have to make somebody tap out. You could even go as far as making it an I Quit match if you want, which is, in effect, a submission match.
Right. Yeah. That's valid.
So make that an I Quit match.
And that is even technically a no holds barred scenario too. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think submission matches don't mean that your opponent has to tap out to your specific submission. Submission matches mean they have to give up for whatever reason. I mean,
Right.
Mankind gave up because Rock hit him 11 times with a chair and then played him saying, I quit, I quit, I quit.
Right.
16 times over the loudspeaker. I mean, cheat to win. Whatever.
That's still a genius match. Kudos to both of those men.
Yeah, except for the chair shots. That was not genius.
That was no. Yeah.
That was, I remember doing the botch along with you on that and going,
Yeah, it was too crazy, especially
does
with
not
everything we
belong
know
in
now.
life.
I'm like, Rock, why would you agree to this?
Yeah.
I think we even searched, though, is really Mick who really wanted to do it and was more like egging on to doing more chair shots. And I'm like, oh, God.
So here's the real question. At that Extreme Rules I Quit match, what wins? Sharpshooter or ankle lock? I will say, having William Regal come out and say, it's going to be a submission match, and anybody who gets involved is fired.
Yeah,
great.
no, he would definitely say that for sure. I feel like you give it to Angle. You have Bret Hart have him in a sharpshooter. Okay, and Angle is just in pain. He's about to quit. He's about to quit. And then Angle, suddenly Bret Hart kind of mishaps because he's getting a little cocky because he's kind of a cocky heel at this point. Angle takes his leg, is able to take his leg while still in the sharpshooter and apply a lot of force to the point where Bret Hart then falls and then Angle really... Yeah, the reverse screw jab. But it's an ankle lock. It's not a.
No, he reverses the sharpshooter into
an ankle lock.
An ankle lock.
Mm-hmm. That I think would be badass. And at this point, I'm seeing like Kurt Angle like just bleeding like crazy, Austin bleeding kind of thing. And he has it locked on him, and like, oh my God, he's not near the ropes. What is he gonna do? And then Bret has no choice but to tap out.
You okay with this, Marks?
Yeah. Sorry.
Really?
I was doing some moderating, and
I
I'm
understand.
gonna take time to step away from talking this to point out that you put shit like that in my chat, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the night reporting each and every one of your comments if I have to. You guys can't see what went up in the chat because I've already taken it down, but the person who put it there, if they're still watching, they know what they put there. I will not.
No racism.
Yeah, I will not have that in my comment section. Period. So don't even fucking bother, right?
Yep.
And so it came up while DA Fabe was talking, and he tried to handle it while he was talking. What I will say to DA Fabe is, while you're talking, let me handle the chat. While I'm talking, you can handle the
Okay,
chat.
fair enough.
Because I think what was happening is, since we were both trying to do it at the same time, it was giving us some errors both ways. So, but anyways, back to this. No, here's the deal: is I 100%. I'm gonna give a spoiler. If we're talking this in a best of 7 series, just to the end, if I'm booking it, it's Bret Hart winning. Period. Right? And I would have him win handily, right? But that's because I've never been huge into Kurt Angle. Like, I get it. He's good. He's an Olympic hero. All of that stuff. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. His character did nothing for me.
Hero.
Yeah. His character did nothing for me, so I was never a fan. I was, however, a Bret Hart fan. So for me, it's hands down Bret Hart.
Look at
But-
you picking Canada over America. Good
But-
for you.
You like him, but he's
Foreign. Yeah, it's not the first time I picked Canada over America.
And it won't be the last.
No, sure won't be. But
So-
but here's the deal: is we also have to remember we're booking this as if it's an actual wrestling program, and you can't just have Bret Hart come out and win 7 in a row. No one's gonna keep watching that.
No.
Right?
No,
It's got to
and-
go
and-
back and forth a bit.
But-
So
Bret Hart-
at this juncture,
but
you've
if
got
not,
a
it's
3-2
fine.
Kurt Angle lead,
Yeah.
which does play well. I think obviously in the Royal Rumble, you can just have that tease that they're going to have to face each other maybe, since we're at that point where Royal Rumble would be. And then just don't do it. Like, don't have it. Maybe right after Kurt got eliminated, Bret's on his way to the ring for his part in the Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
Right.
Whatever. I'm okay with that. Because that
Or you
elimination-
can have them face off in the ring, but before they even get to interact with each other, someone eliminates one of them.
Or both of them at the same time.
Or
because
both
they're
of them at the same
jaw-jacking
time.
with Each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
a great
a-
job for
A
one
rando tag team comes along. You know?
Undertaker.
Yeah. Yeah, Brothers of Destruction. Right?
Just happened to eliminate Bret and Kurt at the same time.
Grab them at the same time, throw them out. In fact, that could actually lead to the feud because now they're on the outside and they're both blaming the other person for why they got eliminated. You know?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So then, but that's obviously not the match. So then we add to it. After that would be would not be extreme. It would be Elimination Chamber, which Bret never got to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that Kurt got very many of them.
Yep.
I think you got one or two.
So we'll throw him into an Elimination Chamber match. And I love this as the 6th spot before WrestleMania. I love the idea that, yes, Kurt gets that Bret gets the win over Kurt here, but not the title.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have a 3-3 tie.
And it being an Elimination Chamber match, that means there's other participants in it that
Yeah.
factor into the ending as well.
Much like Survivor Series did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which then leaves us with it tied up 3-3 going into the WrestleMania match. And it's a 60-minute Iron Man match.
The real Iron Man matches, not this crap of 30 minutes
Yeah.
that Kurt so frequently did with Brock.
Yeah. Which to me, I think easily gives the edge to Bret. Because he did the 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yes.
Yeah, that's valid.
You know? It can even be part of his promo. You know? Your Iron Man matches are 30 minutes long.
That'd be fantastic. I'd be okay with that.
So spoiler alert: Bret Hart wins the 60-minute Iron Man match.
How many falls? Do we do the traditional Shawn and Bret?
No, I don't think we can go to that well, but I do think we keep it low. And I think there still can be some controversy with the finish as well, right? In the fact that I think we have 3 total in 60 minutes. But I think we can have Bret get out to 1, and then right as Kurt Angle is starting to get, fired up, maybe at minute 40 or so, Kurt Angle is starting to get the advantage, and then you have heel Bret do heel Bret shit, and maybe
Bret shit.
Yeah, maybe
heel Bret prizes.
Yeah, but maybe a low blow, a very blatant low blow, or even a very blatant foreign object, something like that. So Kurt Angle gets a fall on DQ, but now his bell's rung. He's obviously injured. It's 55 minutes into the match.
5-minute long sharpshooter.
Yeah, and Bret Hart gets him in a 5-minute long sharpshooter right in the middle of the ring. Kurt Angle can be bleeding like
he doesn't
Ric
reverse
Flair.
it.
He might.
He's done it before, but he can't this time.
Yeah, or maybe he gets to where it looks like it's reversing, and Bret Hart kicks through and just rolls it over back into another one. But it's right there in the middle of the ring, and 59 minutes, he passes out, and the referee calls it as a fall, and he's not able to get up for the rest of it. So Bret Hart's the victor. It still makes Kurt Angle look good because
he's reversed the sharpshooter 2 pay-per-views ago into ankle lock and 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously looked great in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we've gotten some blood again, so that's a callback to another match.
And with the blood and all of that stuff, it can pay off with Kurt Angle needing some time off to recover, which then helps allow this to be the end of this feud.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle goes off to do, stuff for a bit. Bret Hart starts a new feud. Kurt Angle comes back. By then, there could be a different champion that he goes after,
Brand split occurs.
Yep. Now he's on a different brand. So.
It ends that way, and it can stay ended.
Agreed.
Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be, beats the GOAT.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. I do think Bret Hart is probably, of all time, the best technical wrestler. I mean, I'm sorry, Brian. But I think he is better than Kurt.
Yeah. I gotta be like, I've said my thoughts on Kurt Angle. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Kurt Angle. It's his character just never. I just like whatever,
But you also didn't get to watch him in Impact, and when he was in Impact, it was a different.
I didn't
his
really
character
watch
work
much of
was
Impact,
the best he ever did.
But I still there's always going to be those people who just do nothing for you as a wrestler. I personally, like right now, if I could book a time machine and put 2 people head to head, Bret Hart being one of them, Bryan Danielson would be the other one.
Oh yeah.
In their prime, Bryan Danielson versus Bret Hart, those matches would be fucking fire, right?
Let's just go ahead and mess with concussion protocol as much as we possibly can there, huh, bud? Holy
might as
cow.
well.
Fuck.
Might as
Jeez.
well.
All right.
No,
Well,
hey, great challenge
you.
there. Football
thank you for the
scouting
exceptional
report.
crowd. Yep.
I haven't gone to their page, but I would assume that they talk football and
Football.
scouting.
You may have some new followers after just posing that wonderful
Yeah.
little shindig for us.
I cannot, based on their logo, 100% ascertain if that is American football or European football. But
Football.
I'm gonna assume American football, if only because that they're
Scouting report.
well, it says scouting report, and they're also up at what is probably somewhere around 11 to midnight wherever they're at, which would be like middle of the fucking early morning for
Yes, in Britain.
in Britain, and most likely people aren't getting up that early right now. So
We appreciate the challenge.
yes, we appreciate the challenge.
So
Thanks a lot
Smarks,
for
who
that.
was super duper excited for his challenge.
Well, I'm not super duper, but it is timely. It's something
Oh,
that we
Jesus
need
Christ.
to talk about now because in as of right now, 21 minutes, it will be a past tense thing. Actually, it might technically already be, depending on what time zone the contracts are. But today, well, effectively, the February 2nd marks the free agency period of 18 wrestlers released from WWE back in when was it? November.
Jersey. Thanks for
Right?
coming on, bud.
So
He's from
12
Jersey.
in New Jersey. So since you're in New Jersey, I'm assuming American football. So you're entering probably the slower period for a bit here because we've got the Pro Bowl and then the Super Bowl and then a period of time before anything really happens in football for a while. So
The
but
draft, bud. Come on.
well, but there's still a period of time before the draft. There's like a month
right.
before the
Let's
draft.
go to your challenge. 21 minutes.
Anyway, so
20 minutes.
February 2nd is the free agency day for the 18 main roster wrestlers that WWE released back in November. Those 18 wrestlers include Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Nia Jax, Karrion Kross, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, B-Fab, as well as Harry Smith, who hadn't wrestled a match on thing. Ooh.
And that was the Bloodsport guy, right?
We'll see you next Tuesday. Remember
Yes.
it, bud.
Yeah, come back next Tuesday because we will look forward to that. Hint towards next week: Ricky Steamboat versus Great Muta, best of 7. We'll hold you to it. You be here.
I'll have to watch some Ricky Steamboat and Great Muta matches then, I guess.
If you really want to get
You should have done that already, bud.
Yeah, you call yourself a wrestling fan. Steamboat versus Flair. They did like 3 of them, and they were all fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this also isn't specifically the free agency day, but they also at the same time release Oni Lorcan, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Scarlett Bordeaux, Jessica Mea, a bunch of other NXT stars who probably only had 30-day no competes. Although Ember Moon might have still been on a main roster contract, and so
I
hers
think that they had just pulled Scarlett Bordeaux up, too.
they had not.
Oh, they hadn't?
She was supposed to come up with Karrion Kross to the main roster, but she wasn't medically cleared to, and they never got to pull her up before letting her go. So she, as from what everything I've read, was on an NXT contract and therefore has been available for the last 2 months, but didn't want to go anywhere until Karrion Kross went somewhere.
Till
Killer Cross.
Till Killer went somewhere.
So this is the fantasy booking. Now, everything's fair game for these people, right? So what matches do you want to see? I'm going to say pick 3 of the wrestlers and tell me what company, what matches you're looking for on them. So again, the released wrestlers: Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Nia Jax, Karrion Kross, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, B-Fab, Harry Smith, Eva Marie is technically an option. I don't expect anyone to choose her.
Well, now just for that, I'm gonna try to.
You fucking go for it. I'm holding you to it.
Oh Jesus!
So JLB chooses Eva Marie.
Well, I mean, who knows? She might be the answer to the AEW Women's Division.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
she might be much improved, and seems to me like I remember someone saying that. Getting a little deja
But
vu.
now we've been proven that she isn't much improved.
Yeah, still holding you to it. Your tweets are forever in the Twitter sphere, bud.
Forever young, I wanna be forever young.
So no doubt, Keith Lee, Adam Cole. No doubt, I want to see me Keith Lee Omega. I want to see me Keith Lee Bryan. I think that's a given. So, and I almost feel like, but then again, I would also like to see me some Keith Lee Moose.
So Keith Lee to all the promotions.
All the promotions. So no, but Keith Lee to AEW, I think that's fire. I also do feel like Grand Metalik would get a really fair shot in AEW. In the sense he won't just be on Elevation or Dark. He is actually gonna, I don't know, but then again, they're not really doing anything with El Dorado either. What's Sammy's friend?
Lindsay Dorado?
Sammy's friend, who's already there, who got a contract. Sammy surprised him with the contract.
Fuego del Sol?
El Fuego del Sol. Sorry, that's it. So I don't know. I guess maybe he would be better in Impact. So I don't know. I'm gonna go more for AEW people that are gonna be going to AEWs. Karrion Kross or Killer Kross, him and Lance Archer, I feel like could be fire. But then I don't know where else I would like. I can't fucking remember Karrion Killer Kross's matches in NXT. It's been like so long. I remember him and Adam Cole had a fire match, so I guess we can do a him and Adam Cole again because that match was absolute fire. Nia Jax goes nowhere. So Nia Jax is never going to be in any kind of federation again. She could just stick to being on Renee's podcast. Who else do we have that was like kind of big names? Keith, Killer,
Mia Yim,
Scarlett Bordeaux.
Scarlett Bordeaux, yeah. Oni Lorcan, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon.
So Ember Moon, I feel like is Impact. I feel like Ember Moon would, I don't know. I feel like she's like, just would fit better there with.
I get it now. He said Ava Marie would fix the AEW women's roster because he doesn't want them to be so fucking good as they are right now. So he's like, I'm going to ruin that. And I also won't let him have Ember Moon to make it even fucking better.
No.
So I'll take Ember Moon and put her over.
Exactly. I don't know, man. I think I'm on the side of Tony Khan with Swole's statements. So I'm on the side of Swole with no, I don't know. I don't know I don't trust the women's division yet. Jade Cargill's doing really good. I like what they're doing with Serena Deeb. I just want to see more before I bring my girl Ember Moon into there.
See, and I would attest that Jade Cargill just had her worst match of the year.
See, no, I don't. I disagree with that. I think I enjoyed the match-ish. It wasn't like fire, but it was short. So that's my only issue. She's at least doing a lot more moves, I feel.
Fuck you.
Did he make fun of you?
Oh, fucking.
What did he do?
Fuck you, Smarks. Get it off the screen. I'm going to just turn it off. It's all right.
I just reminded everyone of his tweet saying, "Mark my words, Eva Marie will be a great return this year. Best wrestling redhead."
She brought us Piper Niven. Sorry, do drop.
Yeah, I think Mia Yim.
Did you
Mia Yim
screenshot this a year ago?
No, I think you went to actually go search. You don't
Yep,
post
it
a
is.
lot, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, it was easily. I was easy able to find my response, which was "Boo this man! Boo! Boo! Boo!"
Man, I don't remember Mia Yim that much either, which I hate because I remember thinking she was fire. Was she the one that had a crazy hardcore match in NXT? I think it was with Io Shirai. With Io Shirai, hardcore match in NXT. No, am I off here? With Mia Yim.
I don't remember if she had a hardcore match, but she might have. I mean, in the end, we know Ember Moon's skill from her main roster run, and we know it from her original NXT run.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Oh, Mia Yim. Mia Yim has had didn't really have a huge run on the main roster. She got called up, and then she was part of Retribution.
She got retribution, bro. She got retribution.
And the thing is, part of the problem, I'm going to say this here, is they never had any women for Retribution to feud with. So she was just kind of there,
Her and Mercedes. Oh, but Mercedes was let go pretty quickly.
Well, Mercedes showed up in one Retribution thing on the main roster and then fucked out of there and said, "I'm done. I don't want to do this."
Speaking of Mercedes, what the hell happened with Mercedes? We saw her like once, and then I think we saw her the next week, and then
she did a couple weeks, but she's also doing independent dates. So,
okay,
indie shows. All right, so I'm gonna. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be really, really cliche and pick the ones that I'm gonna pick. That are the big ones. I will say, I would love to see Eva Marie come in and get one title shot in a dark match with one Britt Baker. And just see her get ripped to shreds for making me look a fool in May. I thought maybe she did some practicing. Learned a little something she hadn't. Moving forward. Keith Lee to Impact, and the reason I have Keith Lee go to Impact is that Moose match. That's the number one reason. I also love the idea of him going against Big Cass or whatever the fuck his name is now, W.M. Morrissey.
C.W. Morrissey.
Yes, I said
Morrissey.
I mean, I love that Impact plays well with others as good as anybody else in the game. I'd love to see him show up at GCW, have a match because Impact does play so well with others. Him and Matt Cardona at a GCW function. Keith Lee can go anywhere the fuck Keith Lee wants to. And that's literally what I'm saying. Just whatever you want to do, Keith Lee, you just fucking go. And they'll say yes. Do I want the Omega match? Sure. But there's enough going on in AEW that they actually don't have to have Keith Lee. And I will watch Keith Lee anywhere he's at. So, number 2, this person I think does need AEW. And AEW would do well for him. Showing up tomorrow night during the MJF versus CM Punk match. Lights go out. 2 dead bodies in the ring. TikTok. 1 Killer Cross. You just have a lights out, start out. You get that match with CM Punk. You get a match with MJF. Anybody whose body would fold in half nicely with a Doomsday Saito. That's who I want him to face, which is Fuego. I don't give a fuck who he faces in AEW. I just want to see him fold people in half with the Doomsday Saito, left and right. Christian Cage. I want to see it. I want to see all of it. He doesn't even have to win them all. Like, he's the type of guy you can have him lose by disqualification on a regular basis. Just fold people in half.
As long as you don't give me a bunch of squash matches like what you do with freaking Wardlow.
No,
I'm down.
I would love to see him against Wardlow. That's a great idea. Killer Cross versus Wardlow.
No, I'm
I
down
don't
for that
care.
shit.
I just want to see him fold bitches in half. That's what I want to see him do. It's why I was actually excited for the Jeff Hardy versus Karrion Cross match or feud, because I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be really cool. Imagine Jeff Hardy's little Stretch Armstrong body going every time Karrion Cross did a Doomsday Saito.
You know, it could happen again soon.
Could.
Yeah, that's valid.
So maybe. Hey, this is how you build Jeff Hardy versus Killer Cross.
Yeah. First of all,
There you go.
don't have him cheat to win in 30 seconds on someone's debut, right?
Still can't believe they did that.
Crazy how you can do that. And then Ember Moon to AEW in an ever evolving and growing women's division. Ember Moon can do what we all hoped Ruby would do, and this is not a dog on Ruby. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm talking smack on Ruby, but at the end of the day, Ember Moon can bring more to the table than Ruby did. Ruby brought fuck Vince to the table that was really solid. Ember Moon brings, oh my God, she's a well-developed wrestler who can just come in straight away. Not that Ruby wasn't, but Ember Moon's that much more of that, especially on the singles part.
I disagree, but that's a totally separate thing we won't get into. I think here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether it's Ember Moon or Ruby Soho or fucking Sasha Banks, right? AEW does have a problem when it comes to when you bring in a WWE, a former WWE woman wrestler, you can't immediately push them to the stars.
No, I don't think you have to. I think you have her versus Jade pretty quickly.
And
But
that's
she
what
loses to Jade.
that's what they fell to with Ruby Soho, is they knew if they had Ruby come in and immediately win the women's title from Britt
It
Baker,
wasn't healthy.
that wouldn't help them. That effectively that's just burying their own division. And the same thing with what happened with Ember. You know, when they come in, they're there to elevate the division, but also not dominate the division, because AEW does understand that the goal is to build up their own superstars as well. And I'll point out that every title in AEW right now is held by an AEW original.
True.
Every title.
I also would be very, very excited to see Ember Moon versus like a Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
I think she just brings something to the division. I don't think she has to win. I think she can do what Ruby didn't.
I think the one thing that Ember Moon can bring in, or Athena as she goes by on the indies, that Ruby couldn't do at the beginning and might struggle to do for a while, is heel work.
Yeah.
Ruby was so much of a fan favorite, and I love her. I love her to death. She was one of my favorite women's wrestlers in WWE, and I always thought they misused her there. And so she comes in as such a fan favorite that it's almost impossible to have her be heel. But Athena, Ember Moon, can easily come in as a heel conqueror sort of character. I'll give you that. A side note on Mercedes Martinez, it's been just over a month since she was announced to be part of AEW, which means exactly four Dynamites, 4 weeks of Dynamites, right? She did have prior independent engagements, and she's wrestled every week since then, just not in AEW. So they're building her up. They still had her make appearances. They just haven't built her up in matches yet because she's getting the rest of her schedule cleared.
Okay, that's fair.
So, like, I mean, she had a match in Warrior Wrestling like 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember what other ones I'd found.
I also don't mind the idea of Lucha House Party coming to AEW. I think it adds something. You gotta have guys who take the losses, and I think they'd be really good.
What a dick.
Losses. Shut up, dude. It's true. They have way better lucha performers in AEW than they do in WWE. And I don't think Lindsay Dorado versus Penta El Cerro Miedo even remotely looks like a Lindsay Dorado win.
So here's, it's worth us having a little bit of this conversation because as wrestling fans, we love to. It's easy for us to get into this, look down on jobbers, right? Oh, they're just a jobber. They're just a job guy. But here's the deal: in the grand scheme of things, we need jobbers just as much as we need main eventers.
Yep.
We can't have main eventers if we don't have jobbers. Period. Right?
You also don't get the Fuego del Sol almost beating Miros if you don't have Fuego del Sol lose a whole bunch. Like, people don't get invested in that without that.
Yeah. But, I mean, we need them, right? I know JLB is down on the idea that Wardlow keeps beating up on jobbers. He thinks that that's, oh, geez, they need to have them beat real guys. They need to have them beat,
Well, no,
known
just
people.
give me someone I know. You don't have to give me like a big star. Just give me someone that's like
But you wanna
not
be a
from
rock
your
superstar?
local. Really, just give me someone that's not from like your local city that's there and whatever, and then make two of them go at him because hey, why not? Two nobodies is better than one.
Well, but here's the deal, right? You're like, oh, have them beat people that we know and everything. I'm gonna read you Bill Goldberg's first,
Stop it.
we'll say 20 matches, right?
Was it one
Sergeant
of them Scott Norton?
eventually it gets to him. But we got Buddy Lee
Sergeant Bill
Parker.
DeMott.
Yeah. Buddy Lee Parker, Buddy Landell, Chad Fortune. I'm going to point out, though, that technically that was a dark match where Bill Goldberg lost. But it doesn't count because it was a dark match. And it didn't fit their narrative of he being undefeated, right? Hugh Morris was the first like real name he beat. Chip Minton, John Betcha. Oh, here's Hugh Morris again, but this one's not a dark match. The Barbarian, Roadblock, Manny Fernandez. Manny Fernandez doesn't even have a cage match profile, right? Scotty Riggs, Mike Anthony, Wrath, Disco Inferno to a no contest. He had a no contest to Disco Inferno. The Renegade, an aging Bobby Eaton twice. The Renegade again, Mongo, Glacier, Bobby Eaton again.
Fuck you, Glacier.
Brad Armstrong, Stevie Ray, Barry Horowitz, Mongo again, Jerry Flynn, Chavo, Meng, Mike Tolbert. Right?
Meng's a pretty big one.
Meng's a pretty big one. But that was, let's see here. That was almost 30 matches in. Right.
How many has Wardlow had?
Well, I'll go to Wardlow. Yeah, that's fine. My point still being, because it doesn't even matter if Wardlow's had 50 matches or 100 matches. You build a monster by having them destroy nobodies for a long time. And then you eventually have them destroy some less than nobodies. And then some... Let's see.
Yeah, but
Bill DeMott or
to your point, trying to prove my point wrong. This has been done since the WCW days, and people get sick and tired of it, and it doesn't work. You've seen it happen in WWE for so long with Braun. How many times did we not give a shit anymore about Braun facing these nobodies because it didn't matter. It doesn't make you look stronger. It's just a waste of freaking time.
Again, you
Whether-
have to build to things. But here, I'm going to go back.
You're not
Wardlow's
building
first match in AEW. His first match in AEW was against Cody.
There you go.
Lost.
But he lost, right?
Yeah.
But it was against Cody. Then he had a match against a jobber, and then Lee Johnson, who's a step up from a jobber right now, but at the time was a jobber, right? Then Musa, then Grimm. These are all jobbers. And then he was in a battle royal, right? The number one contender, which he didn't win. Then he defeated Luchasaurus. So in his 8th match in, he defeated Luchasaurus, who's one of the bigger stars, right? So already 8 matches in, he has a bigger victory than Bill Goldberg did, right? Aaron Solo, the jobber,
Are you saying Hugh Morris is not a big name?
it was not at that time and never was in terms of the grand scheme of things, right? He became a bigger name when he was General Hugh G. Rection, but that was mostly because of college kids snickering to themselves.
Right.
But no, I mean, Hugh Morris was never, there was never talk of amongst wrestling fans that Hugh Morris should be in the title picture, right? But there's legitimate talk amongst wrestling fans that Jurassic Express or Luchasaurus should be in the main title picture, right?
Was. Not so much now.
Yeah, it's slowed down a bit now, but
That's because
Oh,
that
but then
roster's
here,
gotten loaded up, though.
then 1, 2, 3, 4 matches later, he defeated Jungle Boy. Then the next match, he lost to Adam Page, but they gave it 10 minutes, right? He defeated Jake Hager in a one-on-one match. I'm just scrolling. He's got a lot of tag team matches. He defeated Bear Bronson, who slight step up from jobber, but still kind of a jobber. So I'll give you that. But lost to Chris Jericho because he at this point was not ready to be
Right.
the next guy. But this is my point. This is them building him. Him building him. He defeated Wheeler Yuta, who's kind of a step up. He defeated Matt Sydal. He defeated Sean Dean.
Ooh, Matt Sydal's one I want to see Killer Cross go up against.
Yeah. Oh, he'd look great being folded in half.
Screw Matt Sydal, Dante, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Give me
Yeah.
Dante.
Oh no! I'm telling you the one, and the sad thing is we might not get to see this, but fucking Marco Stunt. Oh, just watching Killer Cross fold him in half a couple times over. Sign me up for that.
God,
But
we're sadistic fucks.
so in the end, right, in Wardlow's time in AEW, in less matches, he's already faced bigger names than Goldberg faced in the same number of matches. So, but in the end, right, you need to have jobbers. If anything, AEW has dropped the ball on making us like jobbers. In the fact that we've got a few. We've got like Fuego. We love to see Fuego, and Fuego's another one to get folded in half by Killer Cross. It'd be tons of fun to watch. But you know, I think you forget watching WCW and watching Barry Horowitz come out and then just get absolutely destroyed by someone week in, week out, or fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, with the 2x4.
They don't have the old guy who can get beat by the up and comer.
Yeah, they don't have that. But I mean, WCW and WWF were full of them back in the day. In fact, it wasn't until the 90s that we started seeing known people face off on free TV, right?
Sure.
The old method in wrestling was always the named person beat up on jobbers on TV to lead up to the named person versus named person match at the pay-per-view.
Sure.
Right? That's the way it was. So Hulk Hogan would come out and beat up on no-namers on TV week in, week out, and talk smack about, Macho Man, I'm coming for you at SummerSlam or whatever. And then at the pay-per-view, you would finally see Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan.
Hey, brother, me and all my Hulkamaniacs are going to come to the
That
pay-per-view.
sounded more like Macho Man. You said Hulkamaniacs.
I did.
You, sir, confused me.
He said, brother.
Brother.
But he sounded more like Macho Man than Hulk Hogan, brother.
No? Okay. Carry on.
I'm glad I do some type of impression well. Even if I do it wrong, I do it well.
But anyways,
wrong way.
that's the grand scheme of things. Is we have to appreciate jobbers because they need to be around. We've got in AEW some jobbers coming out. Sean Dean is eventually going to be a name we know. I mean, none of the jobbers in AEW want to be jobbers forever, but that's how you pay your dues. Jeff Hardy was a jobber to start off with before he eventually became
Scott Hall when he was
Scott Hall.
underage.
Yeah. That's just the way it is. You start off as a jobber and you impress people enough to hopefully earn a spot. But like Sean Dean is eventually going to be a name that we talk about,
But I'm not caring about someone being a jobber. I'm caring about them using known star every freaking week to be beating a jobber and not doing anything with them. I get
Because
it. Now
it's-
it's going to lead to him against MJF.
It's
That's going
all-
to be fun.
Yeah, you got to
we don't
trust
need
the
it.
process. No,
I don't think
they
so.
do need it because if they had Wardlow come out and not beat up on jobbers for 6 months or a year or whatever, and then he comes out and faces off against anyone big. We don't have this history to go back on and look at how he just throws these people around, right?
You could have
What's-
done the same thing with what he did to CM Punk by power bombing him like crazy. You could
But
have just
if
had
you
that. It
does
would have had
that-
the same effect.
He
But you
does
can't-
that to other people.
He does that to other people, and then occasionally he does it to a bigger name person. But in the end, what's going to happen now is, and I anticipate that's going to happen today now, since it's now Wednesday here. In this match, CM Punk versus MJF, that's going to happen tonight.
Oh snap! That is tonight.
That is
Woohoo.
nice. What I'm not certain. I feel like they're going to give MJF the win. He's going to get the victory over CM Punk, but then afterwards, he's going to tell Wardlow to powerbomb CM Punk again, and Wardlow's going to turn on him and powerbomb the crap out of MJF, leading to building up to MJF versus Wardlow at Revolution in a month. The other option would be for during the match, MJF to try to demand that Wardlow powerbomb CM Punk, like the ref gets bumped or whatever. And he said, Wardlow, come in, and then instead of powerbombing CM Punk, he powerbombs MJF to give CM Punk the win. It still protects MJF in that respect. I think, to me, the answer is to give MJF the actual win over CM Punk and then have the turn come afterwards. But I can't, it could happen either way, I think. But I suspect that that's what we're going to have. We're going to have the Wardlow turn tonight to lead up to MJF versus Wardlow at the pay-per-view. So, anyways. But my point is to build someone up, especially when you're building up a monster. Now, if you're not trying to build up a monster, then the rules are slightly different. You don't have them eat through jobbers as much. But when you're building up a monster, part of building up a monster is having them be ruthless on jobbers. And part of it's the psychology of this, right? Yeah, you say you don't care, But eventually you do. When he power bombs No Name Jobber the 13th time, emotionally, unless you're a sociopath, you start to feel bad for
Oh, you
unnamed
weren't.
Jobber.
I thought you were addressing me when you said sociopath.
I might have been. Do you
You
feel
still
bad
could
for
have been.
unnamed Jobber?
Well, I mean, if anything, he gets more
So,
notoriety. Not
notoriety
that I feel
is the
bad
thing.
for the jobber. Yes.
Yeah. But so you're admitting you're a sociopath. Okay, good to know.
Yep.
Anyways,
I could have told
So-
you that before we had this conversation. You would have found this answer out.
So did you
I'm-
have 3? Or I guess that was part of your talk on your 3.
so on
I
that
think
note,
it's game time.
yeah, we're gonna move on to our game that we play towards the end of every episode, and it's pick or pass.
FBI.
Every episode of FBI, correct. It's pick or pass, but I think I'm gonna try a slight variant on it, right? And the pick or pass on this, the one you pick is going to be the one you dislike the most. So you're passing the better one on to the next person. I think this is my attempt to try to stop it from degrading so much, because I think this will make it
I feel
build.
like you might fail at this too. Let's try
We'll
this
find out. It's an experiment, right? So we're gonna start off pick or pass, because Da Fabe's the only face I can see. He's gonna get the first option here. So I'm gonna give 2 names that we just recently were talking about: Killer Cross or Keith Lee. Pick or pass. You are passing the better of the 2.
So you're picking the one you hate.
So I didn't.
Well, do you hate either of those?
We gotta hate somebody. Why is there so much hate in Canada?
Yeah,
Really?
You're supposed to be the nice people.
Politics.
You need to apologize for your hate now.
Wow. We
Say
do
you're
one
sorry.
truck convoy.
Say you're
and
sorry. Say
it's-
you're
it's
sorry.
over. I'm
Say
sorry.
you're sorry.
Say I'm sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's better.
Where's your op? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I mean, still better than your Capitol riot. I'll take a truck convoy over a
I
Capitol riot
am
any day.
keeping. Listen to all the hate there. Holy shit. I am keeping Karrion Kross and letting Keith Lee go up against Wardlow. I think he may have started with one of the best wrestlers in the world. so
Yeah, yeah.
that's gonna be
I
rough on
am.
you, of
I
course.
am keeping Wardlow, and I am letting you go with Lee and Adam Cole.
Well,
Who?
for me, Mr. Bebe.
Oh,
Yeah. So for me, based on this, I am keeping Keith Lee, and I am passing Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson.
Ooh.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and keep Bryan Danielson.
Oh,
Oh, dude, I'm a huge Adam Cole Bebe fan.
that's fair. But
Huge Mr.
Bryan
Bebe fan.
Danielson.
Adam Cole Bebe versus Roman Reigns.
I am gonna pick Roman Reigns and give you Adam Cole Bebe versus Kenny Omega.
God, you're just going like straight after it.
Yeah.
Let's just name the 6 best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah,
Straight up.
this is degrading in the wrong way.
We're not here
Is
for a
is-
long time, guys. We're here for a
We're
good
out of
time.
better ones.
Is there a word for the opposite of degrade?
Prograde,
Prograde.
Prograde.
regrade.
So I am keeping Adam Cole Bebe, and I am passing Kenny Omega and Seth freaking Rollins.
I am keeping Seth freaking Rollins. And I am passing Kenny Omega and CM Punk.
Man, I feel like I might have taken Seth Rollins out of that one. So sorry,
I
CM
did.
Punk.
Yeah. Kenny Omega and CM Punk are your
Kenny
choices.
Omega and CM Punk. No, but I mean, I think I would have let Seth Rollins go.
I know what you
As
meant.
in- okay.
I was just fucking with you, bud.
Don't do that. It's so easy to fuck with me. CM Punk versus
That's what she said.
Omega. So I am keeping CM Punk, and you are getting Omega and Finn Balor.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Where's your Balor shirt at? Freaking traitor.
Both my Balor shirts are in my closet. Thank you much. I do have there's Demon Balor there and regular Balor next to him there.
Oh.
So he's still represented in this room. I do also have Kenny Omega right there. But it is a 2-1 right now. I've got 2 Balors and only 1 Omega. So based on my action figures here, I am keeping Kenny Omega. And I'm passing Finn Balor and Kazuchika Okada.
I'll be keeping Finn Balor. I know who the better wrestler of the two is. And Finn Balor's good, but don't, yeah. And so you're going to pick between Kazuchika Okada and Jon Moxley.
Isn't that the person that John Moxley faced recently at
No.
Okay. Clearly I don't watch
That's,
New
that's
Japan
a
enough.
New Japan legend. That's what was his name?
Shibata.
Anyway, yeah, something like that. Great wrestler, just not would not be in today's top 10.
Okay, so I am keeping the legendary wrestler there, his name, and you are getting John Moxley.
Kazuchika Okada. Okay.
Kazuchika Okada.
And
You are getting
Moxley.
John Moxley. Something that's fair. John Moxley or Mick Foley?
I am keeping Mick Foley.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
In his
Oh.
prime?
Yeah, in his prime?
And his prime was not said, but I
Oh.
I
well,
still
mean,
I fall back on wrestler. The wrestler,
okay.
I think
That's
John
fair.
Moxley is the better wrestler.
All right.
All right.
So we now have Mick Foley or Hangman Page.
Oh, okay. You left Mick Foley in play.
Yes.
Okay. Mick Foley is. I'm keeping Hangman Page. Just hasn't been enough to his career yet. So that means I've got Mick Foley and if you smell what the Rock's cooking.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to exactly shout. I got a kid asleep upstairs, man.
You shout, if any time you are gonna do the rocks
With the millions and
millions. So I am going to keep Mick, and you are getting The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay. This is gonna get me
This
hate.
evolved very fast.
Yeah, this pro-evolved. Yeah. And people are gonna hate this, but I am keeping Stone Cold.
What?
Yeah. You heard
Wow.
That's a move I would have made, but I didn't see that coming from
me.
you.
And I am putting forward now The Rock and
Do the Miz.
Triple H.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm keeping Triple H.
Yeah.
Big Triple H fan I am, like Eugene. So I'm going to keep him. And you've got The Rock and the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, Bret Hart.
So I'm keeping The Rock, and you are getting Bret Hart. I was gonna do Kurt Angle, but we already know what you think of Kurt Angle, so
That's
we're
fucking
switching
right.
that up. Bret Hart or Owen Hart.
Oh, you really want the internet to hate me, don't you? You really
Well,
want people to hate me.
You're going to keep Bret?
I mean, hold on.
No,
to be fair, the
I'm
internet already
keeping
hates
Owen
you.
because I think Brett is the better wrestler.
Okay.
But the internet is gonna hate me for saying that
Because
Brett is the better wrestler.
he's still alive.
He's
No,
still
no,
alive,
I don't
but
think it has anything to do with that. A lot of people.
No, people would hate him
like-
because Brett's still alive and Owen
Well-
deserves the love because he's deceased.
No, some people actually think that Owen was the better wrestler.
Yeah, there's a large contingent of people who think Owen was the better wrestler, and I am not one of them. And so I'm keeping Owen because he is the lesser of two hearts.
Oh, look at you go.
I'm not saying he's bad.
He's also
No,
the
no.
king of hearts.
He's just the lesser of those two hearts. So we're gonna do one final round because I think we're getting near the top. So Bret Hart or Macho Man.
I am keeping Macho Man. Now the internet hates me, but I'm not on screen, so they still think I'm you. And I'm going to pass on what I wish was to Smarks, but is going to go to JLB in hopes that he can come up with a really good one for Smarks. I'm going to pass on Bret Hart and one It's Sting.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be giving you Sting, buddy, because I am taking Sting. I can see it in his face. I'm taking Sting, and you are getting Bret Hart.
I feel like the fact we haven't named Jericho or Flair yet against Bret Hart is almost a travesty.
If you would let me finish.
Sorry, go on.
I wasn't.
If I
expecting
can be
any of those.
serious for a moment.
If I could be serious. Ooh. Nah.
Oh, that'd be really interesting for Smarks.
Let's do it. Bret Hart or Lance Storm?
I love Lance Storm, but
Yeah, I figured he's gonna go that route.
keeping Lance Storm because Bret Hart's I gotta be honest, I expected it to end with Bret Hart versus Ric Flair. I expected that to be our last one.
I think the three people, like if you had
Well,
a Mount Rushmore,
Can
I
you
think-
can you answer that? Who would you actually pick?
Bret
then?
Hart versus Ric Flair.
Mhm.
That's a really tough one. I'm not as big of a Ric Flair fan as some people, but I would say
Yeah.
that I think in the grand scheme of things, Ric Flair has done more for the sport. And so it all comes down to whether I'm being a stickler with the word wrestler, because I do think Bret Hart was more skilled in the ring in terms of technical wrestling, but in terms of ring psychology, in terms of ring rope, ring working, and all of that stuff, Ric Flair is the one. So I'd be probably keeping Bret Hart, and Ric Flair would be the winner in the end. I guess if there is a winner. So, but that is the end of that game. It was an experiment. I don't know if it was successful. It didn't degrade, but it regraded, prograde.
Prorated.
Opposite of degrade. I am googling that as we speak.
Oh, they're probably just gonna say improve, but that's not the word I want. So
No, screw those asshats. They better give me something else. They give me dignify, ennoble, proud, and dignified. Nope, not any of those words I was thinking of either.
no, and those are degrade in terms of talk bad about. So you degrade or you
Yeah.
dignify. So,
That's
anyways,
it, bastards.
but that's the end of that. We'll brainstorm to see if there's another way to do it for next week, but we will go ahead and take this time to close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. If you joined us for the live stream, thank you. We appreciate it. We did like the interaction. Football Scouting Report, you better be back next week for that Ricky Steamboat versus Great Muta challenge. I'm telling you that
he
now. We're
already
holding
left.
you to it. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and close the book. You can follow us on the social medias. Follow me at Raw and Order WBU, just like it shows at the bottom of the screen there. Link is in the doobly-doos in the link tree down there, so go down there to do that. You can follow D.A. Fabe at...
That is D.A. Vincent K. Fabe, right there below my
Right.
chin.
Right there.
Right
Right
there.
there. You can follow JLB at...
I don't have my camera. JLB420, it is there. Or at Real Talk Radio 8. Anchor.fm/RTR is where all the podcast lovely doubliness is. Please go listen to me on Apple because fuck
Please.
Spotify. And
Please.
but you can listen to Raw and Order on Spotify because why not? But yeah, that's it, and that's all I gotta say, good sir. I don't know what else. Yeah, I just saw Matrix Resurrection, and I gave it a 2.8 out of 5. So if you want to hear me talk about Matrix Resurrection on the podcast, it shall be up tomorrow.
To be honest with you, that's probably about a 0.8 more than I would have given it. So,
There we go.
it's meh.
Yeah, really wasn't good.
Meh. The sad thing is, what I didn't understand, and this is just my spoiler on it. I don't understand why you took Keanu Reeves, who we know from the John Wick movies can still do the action scenes and the fight scenes very well, and you put him in the Matrix sequel and you say, oh, I still know Kung Fu. And then he spends the whole rest of the movie just doing force fields with his hands.
Right?
And no Kung Fu.
There was a little kung fu technically
Judo chop.
when he originally faced the new Morpheus. There was like a tad bit kung fu.
Yeah, and then the rest of the movie was force hands.
Yes, it was force hands.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead and close the book. Like I said before, there's all sorts of ways you can support us. Easiest way is subscribing to us on either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Following us on one of those places. That's a great way to support us. Sharing this with your friends so that they know to come watch us as we record live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Sharing the podcast, if you do choose to listen to it audio only, it's still up in podcast form. It'll be up a matter of minutes after we get done with this. And so you can listen to a podcast. Make sure to share and like it that way. But you can also support us on Patreon or by heading to our merch store. The link is in the doobly-doo. It's rawandorderwbu.myspreadshop.com. That's a mouthful, so you can go down to the doobly-doos. It's going to be in there, and the link tree and all that stuff. You can get your Pissant Podcast hat. You can get your Sasha Bear shirt or your autograph collector shirt there. That's if you're new to this podcast, it's one of my favorite things I created. It is a shirt that's designed to be taken to your wrestling show or your meet and greet where you're gonna get autographs. The wrestlers fucking love that shirt. They love
It's a
signing
lot
them.
easier to sign on. A lot easier.
Yeah,
to
so
sign
much
on.
easier than other shirts are. It gives them all sorts of room. Their signatures show up really well. They fucking love it. And we took it to a Zello Pro show, which is why our shirts are in green, because that's the main color of Zello Pro. But you can order it in a variety of colors. So if you're going to a SmackDown, you can get blue. You're going to a Raw, you can get red. You're going to a AEW,
gold
you
or
can
black.
get black or gold, or whatever. You can choose whatever color you want for it. There's even tie-dyes that you can do if you want it to be crazy. And then you go and you get an absolutely personalized shirt that you can have hanging up in the back, or you can wear around. It's fucking phenomenal.
And
So
no two shirts are the same.
No
we
two
went
shirts
to the
are the same.
same show, walked in the same rows.
had the same people sign. I mean, literally,
Very
we
different
compared
spots.
autographs, but they're different spots. I think the only one that I know for certain is the same spot is Warhorse, because he chose to
Number 9 and put a
choose
6 in
9
front of
and
it.
put a 6 in front of it because he's 12. I mean, I laughed too. So
He's gonna roll your ass for that.
I'm 12 too. Yeah, he is. Speaking of Warhorse is opening his wrestling school here soon. It's a little too far for me to make it, but it's in oh god, I just forgot. St. Louis? Anyways, but you can go on Twitter, find Warhorse, and you can find his wrestling school there. It's it looks like it's going to be phenomenal. They're having their first tryouts and all that stuff, I think, this coming weekend. And so Warhorse is phenomenal. And so if you want to learn, I can't remember who the other
The other thing to remember as we talk about those shirts, ours is from a Zello Pro that we've recently gone to. Remember to support your local indie wrestling. It's a lot more fun to be at that show. I promise. Go to that show.
Yes. Go to pretty much any indie show. If you have a chance to go to an indie show near you, fucking do it. They're a ton of fun. So I'm just trying to.
You'll find out you're a fan of somebody you don't really know that you're a fan of. Jonathan Gresham was one for me. Heather Reckless. Boy, I love seeing her develop, watching her on Insta and just get better and better all the time. And I cannot wait to see her land in a big promo because
she
only plays bitch really well.
She's so phenomenal. I'm trying to remember. I just saw a thing where she was training, and I can't remember where she trains at now. Oh, Seth Rollins' school in Davenport, Iowa. That's where she trains. And so the only thing is she's fucking tiny. Tiny. And so wherever she goes, it can't be the land of the giants. That's the problem.
Yeah, no. But I mean, she's still taller than Marco Stunt, but
yeah, not by a ton though.
Taller than Bliss?
No, she's shorter than Bliss.
She's shorter than Bliss. She's smaller.
I think she's either 4'10" or 4'11", and Alexa Bliss
she's like shorter than Layla Hirsch.
I don't know offhand Layla Hirsch. I think
I'd say
Layla
she's
Hirsch,
more legit than Layla Hirsch.
yeah, she is too legit to quit.
Go ahead, come on the show, Layla. Call me out on it.
I don't know offhand. Here, let me just look this up. Layla Hirsch.
She's 4'11".
4'11". So she's
1 inch shorter.
1 inch shorter, assuming I'm remembering it 4'10". But
puts on a show.
Yeah,
Puts
she's
on a show. And
so
it was
much
so
fun.
nice beforehand. I was absolutely confident she was going to be a face. And boy, was I wrong when she got into the ring. She was. She
Yeah.
plays heel really well.
4'9" is what
4'9".
she's billed at. So yes, she is shorter than Layla Hirsch. Alexa Bliss calls herself 5 feet of fury, but she also on Twitter has admitted she's actually 5'1". That just doesn't sound as good to say. So
5'1" feet of fury.
yeah, so Alexa Bliss would literally tower over Heather
Oh,
Reckless.
never mind. She is shorter than Marco Stunt, who's 5'2".
Marco Stunt's 5'2".
I think that's WCW measurement there.
The 7'4" Kevin Nash.
Yeah. or it's just guy measurement where, 5 inches is 9 inches. That's the way it is. Right. Anyways.
Not everyone measures like you do, Officer Smarks.
No, trust me. Right. There's a whole thing.
9 inches.
Yeah. Of women. I found it on, I can't remember if it was Twitter or Instagram, but or even TikTok or whatever, but women talking about how they dated a guy, they thought they were dating a guy who was 9 inches, and then they saw how big 9 inches actually was on a ruler, and they realized that their guy who said he was 9 inches was really more like 5 inches.
God, this again. Talk about devolving.
We're devolving. Anyways, but you can support us on the spread shop, the merch store. There's all sorts of fun things there. Worst pay-per-view of the year, so you can go off and rep Royal Rumble. So far, or you can be optimistic and get the one that says best pay-per-view of the year so far. Just I don't know. Don't wear it to Elimination Chamber. I mean, if you're going to fucking Jeddah.
I mean, it might be the best WWE pay-per-view of the year.
I mean, and if anything, you can always customize it too, guys. So if you did think Royal Rumble was the worst pay-per-view so far, why not just add for another like $5 or something? You just add a little Royal Rumble text, make your own.
Or get out your own Sharpies and do it yourself. Okay.
Yeah, but that's on the spread shop. Link is in the doobly-doo. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Red pill or blue pill?
Ciao.